So here we are. It's Rap's Cooking Kitchen, and we're in Elizabeth's kitchen again. And I'm going to let her take it away with what we're cooking today.
Okay, thank you. We are going to be making stuffed grape leaves. That's the English word. In Armenian, it's Sarma, and in Turkish, it's Yalanchi. It's all the same. If you have the opportunity of picking the grape leaves from somebody's grape vines, do so usually the week or so after Mother's Day when they're tender. You don't want to let it go too long because the leaves get tough. If you can't find them fresh, go to a Middle Eastern store. In Brumel, it's Armenian Grape, and they have bottled grape leaves from California, which are just as good.
Okay.
Okay. These are fresh grape leaves that I was able to get from my nephew's garden, which have always been fantastic. What I do is I blanch them in hot boiling water, then I drain it, and I bundle it, and I tie it with string, and I freeze it.
How long do you blanch it?
Till it starts changing color.
5-10 seconds?
No, a little bit longer than that. Let me get scissors and cut this.
And you just use kitchen twine? Kitchen twine?
Yes, kitchen twine, it's fine. If you don't have that regular sewing white thread, it's just as good. All right, let me open this one. These were frozen. I took them out the night before.
Here you go.
Here they are.
Go ahead, say that.
I like to use the largest leaves I can find. Sometimes that's not possible, so the largest you can find. And you'll see why when I start rolling.
Just want to get a quick shot of the recipe here.
Yeah.
And she's going to go over all the ingredients.
Okay. Now, you can either use canola oil, which I prefer, or good olive oil. Your choice. 1 cup. You heat the oil first, and then you add the onions and let them get translucent. You don't want the oil to be too hot, but you don't want the onions to burn. And then 1.5 cups of rice. I like to use Uncle Ben's. It's just a family tradition.
Absolutely, I've heard that story many times.
And 1/4 cup of finely chopped dill, 1/2 cup of finely chopped parsley, and 3 ounces of tomato paste, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of salt, juice of 1 to 1.5 lemons, 1/4 cup of currants. The currants are smaller and sweeter than raisins. And then 1/4 cup of pine nuts and 1 cup of water.
And how many cups of onions?
5 cups chopped.
Right.
And about 3/4 teaspoon of allspice.
Okay, and I see you save the stems.
Yes. After it's all cooked, you can take them out of the pot and then line the bottom of the pot with the stems from the dill and the parsley. It just adds flavor.
Okay.
Okay?
Here's all the ingredients. And again, you have paprika, allspice, and salt on that plate. And 3 ounces of tomato paste is 1/2 a can. All right, so what are we going to do now?
We're going to saute the onions.
Yep. Boy, that's more onions in that pan than I thought it would be.
Yes. And you want the onions chopped. You don't want them mushy.
Mm-hmm.
stir. Now, this will take about 15 to 20 minutes to get translucent.
Okay.
No, you don't have to put the lid on now, no.
All right, so we'll stop back after they've cooked for a bit.
Yes.
So it's been about 15 minutes, right? And we've been stirring it occasionally.
Yes. And that looks good. That looks translucent.
Okay.
Now we can add the rest of the ingredients.
All right.
All right. This has 3 ounces of tomato paste. Now I'm going to dilute it with a little bit of water to make it smoother. Okay. So we'll add this. And then we'll add the rice. And then the parsley. And the dill. Pine nuts and currants and the salt and paprika and allspice.
How much allspice was that again? It was 3/4 of a teaspoon, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
If you can make it a 1/2 to 3/4,
Okay.
and then lemon juice. And about a cup of water. Give it a stir. If you want to go a little heavier on the currants and the pine nuts, that's fine. Okay. Now we'll put the lid on and just let this cook until all the water is absorbed.
Okay. All right.
Now you can go and do anything else you want.
So now we're unwrapping the leaves one at a time, and we put them on the plate with the stem side or the veiny side facing up. And you have to unwrap them and then take them off one at a time.
Okay.
And then the stuffing for the grape leaves has cooled now. And if you notice, there's 2 separate piles. We keep the bigger leaves over here for actually wrapping, and the smaller leaves along with the stems from the dill and the parsley will be used to line the bottom of the pan.
When the stuffed grape leaves cook, they won't burn.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise they will burn. They'll scorch.
Okay.
How about this? Is that too
No,
small?
that's perfect.
You can cut them too.
Yeah.
So you'll add water to this?
Layer it all, we'll add some water, and it'll cook. It comes to a boil, and then we lower it, and it'll simmer.
Oh, yeah. So you just put about 1 layer of leaves
Yeah.
on
that's
top
what
of
you
the
need,
stems.
yeah. It's just to prevent scorching.
We did 2 already. Just make sure she still had the technique, and
Yeah.
and I couldn't even get the camera on before she rolled the second one.
Okay, these are very, very tender.
So about a soup spoon worth.
Yeah. Depending on how large or small your leaf is.
Uh-huh.
You just like that.
Like a burrito.
You tuck the sides in, right?
Right? And then you just roll it up.
You have to do the vein side up, the bottom of the leaf up.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I will say we tasted the mixture of the stuffing, and it's amazing. And you keep tucking the sides in. Just give it a roll.
And then what you do is you take them one by one and just line them up.
Here's a couple.
These are good. Good job, Amish.
Thank you. I learned from the best.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is too, because these, we pick them, where the leaves are fresh, they're very tender,
Very tender.
they're like paper thin,
Mm-hmm.
almost like
Tissue.
tissue paper.
Yeah, no, that's good. If it's a large leaf, you need more stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have to adjust it, it's like a burrito.
When you say that during this video of Brexit, I just want to let you know.
Hmm?
Don't talk Mexican while you're making Armenian food.
Well, the way you roll it, it's similar.
So you can add and subtract as needed.
Yes. And this is something you have to do with your hands.
Oh, for sure. So we finished rolling them, and now we're just layering them into the pan. After we layer the last ones in, then we're going to cover it with the leaves and water
And cook it.
and cook it. So to summarize, we didn't really discuss a whole lot, but you cook it, the mixture, until your rice is pretty much done. You don't want hard rice, that's important.
Till the water is absorbed.
Yeah, until the water is absorbed. And we ended up putting about a cup to a cup and a half of water additional into it. You put about half a cup in with the tomato paste, and then when it was cooking, we added probably another cup. Just want to make sure your rice doesn't get dry.
And again, we're covering it with the excess smaller leaves so the top does not get scorched. Okay, this is good. And then we fill it to the top.
Oh, you fill it to the top with the upside down plate on it?
Yes.
Okay. And now do you put a lid on it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it just has to come to a boil. I keep the lid off until it comes to a boil. Then I put the lid on and just let it simmer.
Okay. For about how long? You saying?
Well, usually if they are bottled leaves, I would wait an hour. But these are so tender, I'm going to wait half an hour.
Okay. All right, we'll see what that looks like.
And hot water, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That should do it.
Okay. That one's not covered.
That's all right.
Okay. put that guy over here in the corner.
What?
Put this one down here.
No, that's fine. Now we have the pot on the stove with the stove turned on, and we're going to leave it come to a boil, then turn it on to simmer with the lid, and we'll check back in.
All right, now they're cooked, and I'm going to take the lid off and just let them cool.
Okay.
And then I'll transfer them from the pot to a container
Okay.
and refrigerate them.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right. And they cooked. They simmered in total. It was a half hour between the boiling and the simmering.
Yes, because these are fresh leaves,
Right.
not bottled. For the bottle, I would let it probably go for an hour for cooking.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, now the leaves that are on top come off.
This is after a half hour?
Yeah, half hour, and then they cooled.
Yes.
Right.
And then we take them out of the pot.
All right. So this is what the finished product looks like. Not sure how many. There's probably about 50 or 60 of them. A few came undone a little bit of stuffing came out. One thing we forgot to mention is you have to squeeze a half of a lemon into the pot of water with the grape leaves in it. And then when you serve them, you put some fresh lemon over top of them. This is about it. And I want to thank my mother-in-law, Elizabeth, for
Pleasure.
I want to thank her for taking the time and showing us how to do it. And
Thank you to you, Carlo, and to Anush for helping me.
absolutely, and we love you and we enjoy your cooking. Thank you.
Yeah.